isn't, right? Play this shit right here, resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here to spark up your home and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Whole professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dope. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooking baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks, but never getting paid bitches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they like it strife, they see people shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, will strike you out. Oh, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route. You're working with turnouts, it's murdering burnouts. Knocking one of you niggas for a scar bitch. That's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless. Empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with empathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard. I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hold on. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga.
Top of it to the game, though. Let me know if y'all can hear me fine. We gonna chop it up. Have a good game session this evening. At the beginning of a fresh month. Some things together. Excuse my pimping. So y'all can hear me fine? Let me know. I don't want no miscommunications with this game, man. Some things together. Excuse my pimping. Loud and proud. Dig that. All right, we're going to have us a good game session tonight, man. Talking about what do you bring to the table? Because a lot of people come to the table knowing what they want from the table, but not too many people think about what they bringing to the table, man. It's like a potluck, man. You know, I don't really hear too much about potlucks anymore. But anybody familiar with potlucks, man, potluck is a type of dinner where everybody brings something. And why do I still got that? I don't really need that. Tripping. Let me get my setup together. I'm all fucked up. Hold on. I don't really need that. Okay, there we go. That's good. But yeah, you know, people come to a potluck, you're supposed to bring something, right? A lot of people be coming to the potluck empty-handed, but want everything. For real, for real. Hold on, man. Why is everybody... I'm just getting some things together. Excuse my pimping while I get this setup together. You dig? Y'all go ahead and wipe your feet off at the door if you haven't done so, please and thank you. Okay. Up. Almost ready to chop and pop this game. Let me see if y'all wiping y'all feet off at the door, man. Hold on. I'm almost ready, man. All right. Let me see if y'all wiping y'all feet off at the door. It's 56 of y'all in here right now, man. Only 30 of y'all wiped your feet off at the door, man. Wipe your feet off at the door. What a pimp mean by that is hit the like button. Hit that thing that look like that. You dig? You see, man, I see my snipers on the roof. So we gonna have a sucker-free environment tonight. Hold on a second. Let me get my shit right. All right, all right. Let me check out where we at. Okay, man, give me 3 more likes, man. Get a good 50 likes, man. There's 61 of y'all in here, man. Let me know at least 50 of y'all paid your admission, man, before y'all walked in. Wiped your feet off at the door. Shit, okay. All right. Let me go ahead and put some love in my body. Some of this good old love juice. You know how this shit go. You know how we do around here, man. We love ourselves around here, man. We put this good old love in here. But yeah, let's get right to it, man. Appreciate y'all for wiping your feet off at the door when you enter a pimp's domain. Toast to the game. What do you bring to the table? That's a question I have for, young ladies who get at me. It's real common for people to get at people nowadays in the DM, in the inbox, all that old type of shit, right? Hold on, let me get this shit right, man, so y'all can see a pimp's whole flyness, man. Matter of fact, let me get this over here, man, so y'all can see a pimp's flyness, man. I don't want y'all to be shortchanged on the presentation, man. Hold on. I talked about speaking with my appearance, man. I got to speak the right shit with my appearance, but yeah, it's real common, man, nowadays. Of course, that's the times that we live in for people to get in people's DMs, get in people's inboxes or what have you, and especially in the game. This is how a lot of young ladies choose in today's times, right? And this is how a lot of cats campaign in today's times, right? So we're going to be breaking down, what somebody should have in mind when they get in somebody's DM or inbox. What do you bring to the table? See, like I said, when people get inside people's inboxes and DMs and stuff like that, let's take the young ladies, for instance. The ladies of the evening, as some older people like to call them. That's not a common term in today's times, but ladies of the evening, we gonna call them, working girls. But whatever the case, right? When they get in the pimp's inbox, endeavoring to choose a pimp or endeavoring to get somewhere with a pimp, they always have in mind what they want. They know for sure what they want. If you ask them what they want, they ain't got no problem answering that. Why are you getting at me? They know why they getting at you. What do you want from me? They know what they want from you. And see, I know what I want from you. Just like you getting at me and you have in mind what you want from me, I have in mind what I want from you. Right? You know why you talking to me. I know why I'm talking to you. But see, as the greatest servant of the game alive right now, my mission is to be in service to you, to be of service to you, right? And within me being of service to you, I also have in mind not just what I want from you, but what I plan to give you. how I plan to be beneficial to you. I have this in mind. What do you have in mind as far as what you plan to give to me? How do you plan to be of service to me? Right? That's what a lot of young ladies need to keep in mind, man. You know, and you're gonna get a whole lot further with the type of guys that you want. I mean, it's easy for everybody to say what they want from somebody else, but nobody thinks about what they gonna bless the other individual with, right? And then also to get more detailed with the question, what are you gonna bless a pimp with that not every other hoe is gonna bless a pimp with? How are you gonna distinguish yourself? Because you already on some regular common shit. You already on some basic shit just by getting in the pimp's inbox or getting in the pimp's DM. You just like everybody else so far. It's like in high school, you know, when you was in high school, the first day of school, your teacher tell you what? Today everybody got an A. Everybody got an A right now. But as the days progress, you have to do certain things to maintain that A. Today, everybody got an A. So when you get in the pimp's inbox, you got an A off top. But it's what you do from there that determines whether or not you're going to maintain that A. Everybody ain't going to maintain that A. There's very few people that's going to maintain that A. You know, that A is like being above water, above sea level. And as you progress, as you continue dealing with the pimping, you got to do certain things to maintain that A. And it's not just a willingness to get down for the pimping. It's not just a willingness to hand it over to the pimping. It's a whole lot more to it than that to maintain an A. Back to high school. You know, you can't do just one thing. You can't be good in just one subject to maintain that A in every subject. You know, you got English, you got history, you got math, you got science, you got economics, you got if you play a sport or physical education or whatever the case may be, you got health class, you got all these different subjects that you got to stay on top of to maintain that A. You know, and you might be a cold motherfucker in English, but if you slacking off in that math class, you know what I mean, that's going to bring your average down. You ain't going to have an A average across the board. So back to the hoeing, dealing with the pimping, again, when you get in that DM, you got an A. But, well, let me say this, because some of y'all, as soon as you hit that send button, you might be sending the wrong shit and you might get an F immediately. And you like, damn, today the first day of school. How I got an F already, Freeze? How did I motherfucker get an F already? Bitch. I'm going to tell you why. You know, like RP said, I'm going to tell you. Hold on, let me do my RP. I'm going to tell you why you got drunk. Just be quiet one time. I done taught you everything else about life, right? About just how to live, period. Rest in peace to RP, man. Definitely an original individual in this game. But yeah, so that's what let me rephrase that. Let me excuse my pimping. Let me correct myself, right? When you're thinking about getting in the pimp's DM, you got an A right there, right? But Once you turn that message into the DM, that's like turning that first assignment into your teacher, right? Because when you in high school, when you that first day at the beginning of the class, you haven't done anything yet, so you have an A, and what you do from that point determines whether or not you maintain that A. So when you thinking about getting into a pimp's DM, that's like stepping into the classroom. You haven't done anything yet. But when you send that first message, that's like turning in that first assignment, right? So you want to be mindful. You want to be careful. You can't just write anything down on the paper and turn that motherfucker in and think you're going to get a good grade on that assignment. Nah, you got to study, right? You got to think. You got to use your brain. It's certain things that you got to do so that you can do this assignment and be as correct as possible with this assignment, right? So it's the same thing with the pimping. Speaking of studying, again, this is where a lot of hoes go wrong getting at the pimping. You have the opportunity to study the pimping to a T on social media. If you get at somebody on social media, you got so much that you can study if you know what to look for. But a lot of chicks don't know what to look for because all you thinking about is what you want from this individual, right? And you probably really only want a better situation. You just might like his situation, but you're not thinking about at all how this individual is gonna treat you and how they might treat the other people in their lives and how they might treat themselves. These are all going to be indicators to you as to how this individual is going to treat you. So, and then that'll give you, or it should give you an idea, it should provoke you to think about how you're going to treat him. What type of young lady you going to be to him? How are you going to be an asset to him? How are you going to be of service to him? It's more than just money. It's a whole lot more to it, right? But like I said, bottom line is you have the opportunity to study via social media. And even if the individual ain't social media, even if they not on social media, you know, you could run they PFAX through the wire. You know, somebody in the game is gonna know this individual. So, you know, do your research, and not just that, pay attention. If this is the type of individual that you see moving around, you know, in traffic on a nightly basis, pay attention. Pay attention to that individual. It's so much studying that you can do. Whatever it is that you're interested in, it's some studying that you could do, right? And so like I said, once you do this studying, and that's what kills me, right? Because it's certain chicks that have study freeze. I'm just using myself as an example, right? It's certain chicks that have study freeze for months. Some chicks might study freeze for years. And when they turn in that first assignment on the first day of school, when they send that first message in the DM on the first day at Freezes It University, immediate F. How you get an F immediately? You done had months to study. You done had a year, 2 years, however long to study. How you get an F immediately? How you do that? You didn't study. You was looking, but you wasn't studying. Excuse my pimp. I keep popping that up. You was looking, but you wasn't studying. See, when you studying, you paying attention. You retaining information, and you using this information. Let me tell y'all about how to study. What the fuck is that? Out of here. tell y'all about studying, right? When you studying, you're not just looking at some shit, right? When you studying, you're retaining information, and not just any kind of information, but you're retaining information pertaining to your assignment, to what you're doing. Your assignment right now, getting into a pimp's DM, is making a good first impression. That's your assignment. So if your assignment is to make a good first impression, then, you know, the more information that you retain about what you're studying, that's going to determine, you know, how good your first impression is. So study, retain the right information, pay attention. And then when you get into this pimp's DM, you're going to make a good first impression because you paid attention and you considered that in the message that you sending to the pimping. And see, this don't just go for hoes. This go for guys too. This go for the pimping too. Right? Because again, now you not going into like a hoe's classroom per se, you dig? But back to the potluck analogy, you know, you want to keep in mind what you bring it to the table. See, but see, for the pimping, it's a little bit different though, because a lot of cats be bringing too much to the table, and this hoe ain't brought nothing to the table, right? See, the pimping is sad because with a lot of cats in the game and a lot of young ladies in the game, the outlook, the mindset is the burden of proof is on the pimping, which is crazy. The burden of proof is always on the pimping. It ain't never on the bitch. Never. Almost never. It's very few cats that position abroad to prove herself, like I talk about all the time. It's very few cats that position the chick like that. So you got certain P's that be coming with like a whole bunch of shit. They got a pot of greens right here, and they got a pan of macaroni and cheese right here, and they got some candy yams in a pot right here, and on their back, you know what I mean, they got some a rack of ribs back there on their back. You know what I mean? They just juggling a whole bunch of shit coming to the bitch DM like, hey, look at me, I got everything you need. I got the whole buffet of shit, all you can eat. You know what I mean? Whatever you want, I got it. And the bitch ain't brought nothing. She ain't even brought her own plate. She ain't brought her own utensils. You gotta provide every damn thing. All she providing is the fact that she is a female. Only thing she providing is the female anatomy. That's it. And these dudes that call themselves the pimping, that scream to everybody that they the prize and, you know, choose me and all this, they bringing everything to the table. The chick ain't gotta bring nothing. That's crazy. That don't make no sense. So, like I say, things are a little different with the pimping. You know, I don't know. Everybody is different how they move on social media. See, me, I'm not really one to get in chicks' DMs, right? I'm not really one to just jump in DMs. I'm not like the neighborhood Spider-Man, you know, come swinging through a hoe's DM like that. You know what I mean? Shooting my web and just come through swinging into the bitch DM. You know, I don't get down like that. You know, I ain't got no S on my chest. I ain't gonna just come flying in to the hoe's DM. You know, is that a bird? Is it a plane? What's that food name? Captain Saberhawk, man. Nah, Freeze ain't coming through like that. But on the rare occasion that I do get into a chick's DM, 9 times out of 10, it's a chick that showed interest in me first. Whether she went on a liking spree or she might have got in my DM first. She might have initiated the conversation, and that's how we got into the DM. That's usually how I interact on social media. Chicks usually get at me first, or like I said, they went on a liking spree. And a lot of times I don't even like getting at chicks like who do that, because the conversation just usually don't go right. So it'd be a waste of time, and I don't like wasting my time. So a lot of times I very extremely rarely initiate a conversation in a chick's DM. So like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's them getting at me, right? So from the pimp's perspective, like I said, I'm always thinking about, now of course, like what I want, that's a given, right? But I'm thinking about what I'm presenting to her. And, when I think about what I present to her, or what I have to present to her, then, it helps me to keep my value in mind. And when I have my value in mind, then, I know that I'm not just going to give up everything in exchange for nothing, or in exchange for very little, right? So, with that in mind, yeah, I know what I want from her, but I know what I plan to give her too, right? So I'm very interested, and I'm gonna be paying attention to see if she even volunteers what she plans to bring to the table. And if she does volunteer these things, it's like, a pimp gonna be paying attention to what that is. Now, I'm gonna tell you where a lot of chicks go wrong. Back to the home. We're gonna switch reels for a second. Back to the home. A lot of chicks go wrong asking, what's the fee? That's like the most, you don't understand for the pimping, at least for me. I don't know about everybody else. Other cats might get excited by that shit. But when you tell me what's the fee, for me, that's the most repulsive question that a hoe can ask in a DM. What's the fee? The most repulsive question. Because it's only been probably like maybe once or twice where a hoe actually was serious when she asked me on social media what the fee is, right? But most chicks, like I said, it's like a repulsive question. It's like, think about going into a designer store or a jewelry store, right? Now, people with money, they move a certain way. Just think about yourself when you got money. It ain't even got to be nothing expensive, like no hella like luxurious shit. But like when you go into Foot Locker and you want to buy some Jordans or maybe even some Yeezys or whatever it is that Foot Locker got to offer. When your money is cool, you don't grab a pair of shoes and be like, how much is these? You just be like, you got my size? And then if they got your size, you be like, I want them. And then you go to the register and whatever it is, you just pay for it, right? Because you know your money is straight. So you're not asking how much it is. Same thing like if you go into like the Louis store and you want to get a belt. If your money is straight, you're not going to ask how much the belt is. And you just going to ask if they got your size. and the representative helping you, 9 times out of 10, they deal with customers every day. So they know by your language whether or not you're a potential customer, whether or not you're a potential buyer, right? Now, if you're looking at belts in the Louis store and you pick up a certain belt, you be like, how much is this belt? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna look at you like, it's a dice roll if this person is gonna buy this belt. I'm gonna tell them how much the belt is, but it's a dice roll. 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna buy this belt because they're asking how much it is instead of asking for their size. Now, if you, again, looking at belts and you say, and you look and you don't see your size, and you ask them if they got your size, 9 times out of 10, that representative helping you is gonna be like, okay, it's a high chance that this person is gonna buy this belt if I got their size. So let me go see if I got the size, if we got the size, and then, oh, okay, we got the size. Cool. Right? Your language is everything as far as indications to who you dealing with. So back to the pimping, when a hoe come into a pimp's inbox, that's like somebody going on to a Bentley lot, a Bentley dealership. New child, good looking with a $100 holler. You did. As always, coming through. Bulletproof love till you freeze. Keep reaching and teaching. I appreciate you, new child. Good looking, always. So yeah, that's like going on to a Bentley lot and asking how much the Bentley is, or just asking silly questions like that. How much do I need? What's the down payment on this? How much is this at? Once it's said and done, how much am I gonna be paying? Like, the people at the Bentley lot gonna look at you crazy, like, this person do not belong here. They asking how much this is and how much do they need for that, and that. They asking the wrong questions. Their language is wrong. So it's the same thing when a hoe get into a pimp's inbox. What's the fee? Bitch, I know you don't have no money right now. You asking what's the fee? I know you don't have no money right now. I know it. You ain't even got a portion of whatever the fee might possibly be. Because if you were serious about the fee, you're serious now. We talking serious. We talking about serious. Oh, where do I send the fee? How do I get this fee to you? How do you want it? Ho gonna come into a pimp inbox on some Tupac shit. How do you want it? You know what I mean? And then her background singers, how do you want it? How do you feel coming into a pimp's DM with the choosing fee in the fast lane? You dig? That's how a hoe gonna come at a pimp, you know what I mean? Trying to reach it to the pimp in the fast lane, gotta get his cash, man. How do you want it? That's how a hoe gonna get in the pimp's DM, man. Gotta activate the chips and get the cash out. I'm about to pay the pimp until I pass out. That's, I wanna reach you and I can't even lie about it. I'm a hoe for yo pimp until I die about it. Yeah, man, that's how a hoe gonna get at a pimp. For real, for real. So like I said, man, just keep that in mind. I know you think that that's some good bait, cause a lot of you bitches be into the bait and switch thing. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why you come at the pimping like that, because a lot of y'all who do the internet, you do the bait and switch thing. For those of y'all unfamiliar with the bait and switch, that's when a hoe posts like a certain ad, or I'll say a prostitute. Prostitute posts like a certain ad with pictures that's not hers, and pictures that a lot of times look drastically different from what she actually looks like. You know, and then when the tricks show up, hold on. Damn, I wish I had the motherfucker. Hold on, I can find that motherfucking sound effect. I'm gonna show you this. This is what happens when the tricks show up to the bait and switch. I'm gonna show y'all what happened. Yeah, this what happened when the trick pull up. When the trick pull up to a bitch's room, and you know what I mean, he was expecting like a 6-foot blonde, blue eyes, you know what I mean, fine as a motherfucker, in shape, fit, you know, 125 pounds. He think he finna open the door. As soon as she open the door, it's gonna be a showstopper, right? Then he opened the door, and it's a bitch that look like Rosie O'Donnell. You know what I mean? Short, fat. You know what I mean? Not attractive, sloppy, eating, you know, meatballs and spaghetti, and not even the homemade shit. This is the sound that trick has in his head. That trick, man, he called the bitch. He on the phone with the bitch like, yeah, I'm gonna come see you. Looking, your pictures look really good. Are those your real pictures? The bitch like, yeah, those my real pictures. He like, all right, well, send me the address and I'll be on my way. Man, that trick walk up to the motherfucking bitch room and knock on the motherfucking door. Bitch open the door and he like, man, that shit ain't cool, man. Bitches got tricks. That shit ain't cool, man. You know what I mean? Bitches with the baby switch. So that's what you don't understand. When you get to a pimp's DM, conversation might be going real cool. You know? Conversation going great. Then you just come out of nowhere like, what's the fee? Pimp like, Jordan face. You know what I mean? So don't get to a pimp's DM. I'm telling you. I'm talking about a pimp that's worth anything. A high caliber pimp. A high caliber pimp that's gonna be an asset to you. That's actually gonna do some pimping on you. Not somebody who just got a cool situation, but not an ounce of pimping with them, or a cool situation that's not gonna take a personal interest in your hoeing. But I'm talking about a real pimp that's gonna really do some pimping, that got some pimping to offer you, that's gonna take a personal interest in you, that's gonna amplify what you're doing. Somebody that's gonna be a blessing to you. Don't get in his DM talking about what's the fee. Cause he's not gonna take you serious. You know, like I said, one of them green dudes, they might get excited when you say what's the fee. But you know what I mean? When you get to Freeze DM and say what's the fee, I'm just like, you know, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear what's the fee. You dig? Don't ask me what's the fee, because I'm gonna discontinue the conversation. That's what's gonna happen. You ask me what's the fee, you ain't gonna hear nothing in response. You ain't gonna see nothing in response. I'm telling you, don't ask what's the fee. You ain't gonna get nowhere with the pimping. Water sign 10, as always, good looking with the $5 holla. Do you think this statement is true? You can love the game, but the game loves no one. No, that's not I don't believe that's a true statement. I don't believe. Well, it depends on what game you're talking about. I'll say that. I say that. Because I believe you get from a situation what you put into it. So you get from the game what you put into it. That's what I believe. You reap what you sow. Ultimately, bottom line, you reap what you sow. So with that said, no, I don't subscribe to that. Spitting Fire, what's going on, Spitting Fire? I've been peeping you out too. I like your channel. Spitting Fire with the $25 holla with the quota piece. Spitting Fire coming through with the quota piece. Good looking. It's hard out here for a pimp. We try to get the money for the rent. Keep pimping. Yeah, Spitting Fire. See now, you know what I mean? It's hard out here for a pimp, but you just made it $25 to the good. Now $25 closer to my rent. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, you know, that might take care of the credit cards and the gas money spent. You know what I mean? So it's hard out here for a pimp, you know? But, nah, I appreciate you. Good looking. But, yeah, like I say, I can't reiterate this enough. Ladies, do not get into a pimp's DM. If you really like him, if you really want to get somewhere with him, do not get into his DM talking about what's the fee. Because as soon as you say what's the fee, this is what he gonna hear in his head. Oh shit, I done fucked up my sound effects. Hold on. This is what he gonna hear in his head. Don't do that. Don't get into a pimp's DM talking about what's the fee. All right? Do yourself a favor. Do the pimpers a favor. Do the pimping a favor. Do us both a favor. Don't waste either one of our time. You dig? Yeah, so like I say, man, when you getting at somebody, keep in mind what you bring to the table. Because that's how you're going to get a whole lot further. See, I say all the time, people who just develop the nature about themselves where they just seek to understand and they're big on understanding, you're going to have an advantage over just about everybody that you're around, because that's one of, like, as human beings, that's one of our biggest needs, one of our biggest desires is to be understood. That's everybody. We all want to be understood. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Some people might say, I don't want nobody to understand me. I just want people to leave me alone. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I don't want nothing. I just want to be by myself and left alone. That's bullshit. That's grade A, pure Peruvian caviar bullshit. Everybody wants to be understood. Everybody wants to be felt. So with that in mind, if you are the type of individual that wants to understand and you have a hunger to understand, a desire to understand, you're going to have an advantage over most people that you come across. Because everybody's busy trying to be understood one way or another. Everything we do is a piece of communication. Everything we do, everything we say, everything we wear, we communicating at all times. Like I said, speaking with your appearance. You know, not only do you speak with your appearance, but you speak with your actions too, of course. So all of that is to be understood, right? I dress like this because I want you to understand that I'm a certain type of individual, right? I'm sure you dress a certain type of way because you want people to understand that you're a certain type of individual. And ultimately, like I said, whatever we do, whatever we say, it's all a piece of communication, right? So it's ultimately to be understood. So if you the type of individual that is mindful of that, then you're gonna have an advantage. Because when you dealing with people and you know that people want to be understood, you paying attention to every aspect. Like when you talking to females, you paying attention to every aspect of her, because you know everything you see in front of you is different forms of communication. How she has her hair, the perfume that she got on. That's why I'm gonna give y'all some free game too. Speaking of that, you know, it's good. It's a great thing. Like I said, speaking of understanding, coming to the table, not thinking about only what you want, but what you bring to the table, right? A great thing to know is different women's perfumes, especially like the popular ones, right? What's hot right now, knowing what's the hot perfumes right now and the different smells and shit like that. Because just think about it. As a man, when you out and about moving around and a woman knows what kind of cologne you got on and she points it out, like, ooh, you got on that Gucci. You like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Yeah, you like that Gucci on me though, huh? Do it smell cool on me though? I'm just saying though, is it cool? Do you like it on me though? You gonna be sparked when a woman know what kind of cologne you got on. But see, because 9 times out of 10, women pay more attention to certain things about guys than vice versa, right? So with that said, it's more common for a woman to know what kind of cologne you got on than it is for you to know what kind of perfume she got on, right? Because a lot of guys, most guys don't pay attention to that type of shit. They just like, ooh, she fine, okay, cool. Most guys ain't paying attention to what type of perfume a woman has on. So if you can call that perfume that she got on, and I'm giving y'all some motherfucking game, man. I'm giving y'all some motherfucking game. If you could call what type of perfume the woman has on that you talking to, you gonna touch her in a way and in an area that not everybody is reaching for, right? So you gonna have the type of attention from her that not everybody is gonna get. 9 times out of 10, right? So learn that, pay attention to that. You know, the types of perfumes this like common and more popular, right? And you might not be able to call a woman's perfume every time, but it's just a good thing to be able to do. It's a good thing to be able to call a woman's perfume. Most of you niggas probably ain't never did that in your life. Most of you niggas ain't probably never seen a woman and was like, ooh, you got that Chanel on, huh? That smells nice on you. Most of you niggas ain't never did that. Never. So keep that in mind. Tuck that under your hat one time, man. Thank Freeze later on when that helps you out. You dig? But back to what I was saying, back to my point. When you talking to a female, everything is a piece of communication. She's saying something with her hairstyle. She's saying something with her smell. She's saying something with whatever she's wearing. Whatever type of clothes she got on, whether it's a dress or some jeans or whatever the case may be, right? She's saying something with all of that. Now, of course, some things are going to speak louder than others to people. You know, if this bitch got some big ass titties and she know it and she proud of them big ass titties, 9 times out of 10, she gonna have some shit on with some cleavage, showing them big ass titties off, and motherfuckers is gonna be looking at her titties. She gonna know it, and they probably not gonna say it with their mouth, but they gonna say it with their behavior that they appreciate them titties and they like them titties, and she's gonna take notice to that, right? So, like I said, some things are gonna communicate more loudly than others. But it's just real cool to be able to like pay attention to the things that don't speak so loudly, right? Like I said, I gave you one example, the perfume, right? Just use your imagination and think of other things on a woman that might not speak so loudly, the not so obvious shit, right? Take notice to that and point that type of shit out. You dig? And you gonna get the type of attention that not most cats is gonna be able to get, right? So it's all communication, man. And again, back to understanding, you're gonna have the best communication when you have the best understanding. When you understand that people want to be understood. So that you should understand people and give them the feeling of being understood. You know, just paying attention to certain shit. Just like one thing that'll help you, like I'll give you some game. One thing that helped me, right, is using somebody's name. Finding out what somebody's name is and then using it. Especially like people that work at a certain place. Like when people got name tags on, I do my best every chance I get to be like if their name is Danielle, she might be working at Whole Foods, and she's my cashier. She ring my shit up. What's going on, Danielle? How you doing today? How's your day going? That's gonna catch her off guard because most people ain't gonna address her by her name, right? How do I know this? Because like I told y'all, the only square job, the regular like 9 to 5 that I ever had, I did this at first. I'm doing the quotes like this. The only 9 to 5, you know what I mean? Like I'm grabbing something. The only 9 to 5 that I ever had was Target, right? I worked at Target. I had, several different positions at Target, but one position I had was a cashier. But whatever position that I had, I always had a name tag on, right? And every so often, a customer would address me by my name that was on my name tag. And matter of fact, it's crazy because still to this, and that was so motherfucking long ago. I remember one particular lady. She was like an older Asian lady, right? And she used to address me by my name when she came in, when I was her cashier and I would ring her up. She would address me by my name, and this is a long ass time ago. I don't want to, I'm only 21 years old, so I don't want to tell you how long ago it is. You know what I mean? But it's almost as long ago, like it's almost back when, when I was born, damn near. But yeah, 21, you do the math. I'm 21 right now, so, subtract the years, y'all smart. But anyway, I still remember that lady. I remember what she looked like. I remember her voice, everything from that long ago, long ass time ago. Cause she was the one of few customers. She was the only one who did it like on a regular basis, right? Well, I ain't gonna say she was the only one. Cause I remember somebody else too that was like that. But certain people just stick out, they stand out to you. You wanna make a hell of an impression on somebody, pick up that habit of addressing people by their name. Right? Or when you meet somebody and you shake hands and and they tell you their name, and you know you address them by that name often. You don't want to wear it out and make it obvious, but you know you want to pay attention to that. Like if you meet a girl and she tell you what city she from, and she tell you her name. You know, as y'all get wrapped up in the conversation, it's real easy to forget her name or forget what city she said she was from or something along them lines, you know. But just be paying attention. Like I said, be seeking to understand. Remember as much as you can, you know. And then the next time y'all talk, you might remind her of something that she told you, and she don't even remember she told you that. She told you this about herself, and she don't even remember that she told you this shit. But you remember. She like, damn, how'd you know that? You told me. Duh. You know? That's how you make a good first impression on people. Especially, you know, the ladies, when you try and get at a lady. You know? And this game really, you know, like I say all the time, game got universal application. So this game could be applied in various different ways, as I'm sure y'all can imagine and probably imagining right now how you can apply this shit. But yeah, like I say, ultimately, this is all got to do with understanding. And when you better understand people, you can know what you bring to the table. And when you know what you bring to the table and you understand people and you bringing the right shit to the table, then you can get cooperation from people. Because whenever you're dealing with somebody, that's your ultimate objective. Whatever it has to do with, the bottom line is cooperation. You want somebody to cooperate with you. When you get into somebody's DM, you want them to cooperate with you. When you're doing business with somebody, you want them to cooperate with you. But people ain't gonna cooperate with you if they don't understand why it would make sense or how it would make sense for them to cooperate with you. But if you paying attention to them and you communicate to them that you understand them, you feel them, and you paying attention to them, people will be more inclined to cooperate with you. So that's some game, man. Some food for thought. You dig? Read some of y'all comments. You know, a pimp just been popping it and chopping it with y'all. So, sipping this good love all at the same time. So excuse me if I've missed some of y'all's questions. Devontae Wilson, 90% of communication is nonverbal. I don't know the percentage, but I know it's high. Yep. But a lot of people don't pay attention to the nonverbal communication. And it's crucial to pay attention to the nonverbal communication. (619) Capricorn, that's something I am definitely working on in my personal life. Yeah, you know, it's real helpful. Like I said, just something as simple as, like, you know, is practicing. None of us became who we are overnight. It's a process. So, you know, as long as you're working on it, as long I'm working on it too. We all should be working on it. I'm definitely working on it. It's not something that you just perfect and you reach a point where you can't become better and you can't grow anymore. Nah. You got to stay working. Liddy Lit Truth. Thanks, Freeze. Blessings. Thank you, Liddy Lit Truth. God-fearing King. That's what I'm working on. Remembering names when I meet people. It's hard for me unless you really show me something different. Yeah, I'm pretty good at remembering names. One thing I'm real good at too is remembering phone numbers. You know, I've always had a pretty good memory, and I like memorizing phone numbers because it's like a good, like, it's kind of like a good, you know, mental exercise. So when I meet chicks and I exchange phone numbers with them, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna memorize the number, especially if it's somebody that 9 times out of 10 I ain't gonna take a number of somebody that I don't have no kind of interest in. So usually when I meet a female, I memorize the number, and then the next time I see them, I'll tell them what their number is, and they be like, damn, I just got a stupid memory when it comes to numbers and shit. So, but you know, years of practice, I just got better and better and better at it, and that's just something that I do, memorizing numbers. So but memorizing names is a real good, and you know, a name is much easier to memorize than a number. You know, I just had a thought come to mind, but I ain't gonna share it. But you know, maybe you can associate. I don't know. Everybody got their different little quirks, how their mind works. You know, different things might be helpful to me that might not be helpful to you, and different things might be helpful to you that might not be helpful to me, as far as how to remember shit and memorize shit. You know, I would think one thing that might help some people is trying to remember something, like associate something with that name of that person. Like, think of a rhyme. Like, I don't know. If her name is Mary, call her Scary Mary, or Harry Mary, or Fairy Mary, or Very Mary, or something, you know? Think of some shit like that. It'll be easy to remember that name. Especially if it's funny. We always remember shit that's funny. So Tay like that. Respect, Freeze. Keep spitting game, big homie. I appreciate that. Good looking. God-fearing King. Quite incredible. So I've been told. Help is welcome. What do you have for me, Liddy? Hello, good night. Oh, okay. Y'all chopping it up in the chat. You know what I mean? Getting to know each other in the chat. Hold on, let me get my theme music. I can't. I don't even know. Fuck it. But y'all in the chat chopping it up, that's cool. You know what I mean? Meeting each other, shaking virtual hands, making virtual friends, all in the chat, all in the videos, dancing. You know what I mean? If y'all want to come, you know, be yourself, and you know what I mean? You don't want your executive producer being all in the chat, all in the live video, dancing. Come to death row. Nah. Rob Carpenter say, remembering numbers. Hell, I can't remember names. I try to talk to at least 30 new females a week. Now that's dope though. Even if you're not good at remembering names and numbers and all that type of shit, that's a dope, thing to have in mind to do every week. Like 30 new females a week, that's dope. Especially if they're in-person females. Online females is cool too, but that in-person shit is just, it just got a whole different effect when you meet people in person versus meeting online. Love that suit, brother. Respect the game you giving for sure. King, I don't know if it's King Drico. My bad if I'm chopping and screwing your name up, man, but good looking, King. Keith Capone, how to help a woman get over depression. You can't help somebody who don't want to help themselves. Now, you have some people obviously who want to help themselves but aren't being much help to themselves. But that's the first thing. In order to help a woman get over depression, she has to want to help herself first. She got to have, a healthy emotional bank account, as we call it, right? And, she got to have that healthy emotional bank account. If the bank account ain't there, you can't make no deposits, right? So, but if she got a healthy emotional bank account, then you can make deposits, even if it's in the negative right now. Because obviously if she's depressed, then her emotional bank account is delinquent. It's negative right now. But that's all right though, because you can make deposits, and if you make the right deposits, then you can help to make her inclined to make her own deposits, right? Then she can, get back in the black with the positive balance. So, again, like I said, understanding. What this whole video is about, bringing things to the table, taking time to understand her. Like I said, first, the key is she has to have a healthy emotional bank account, meaning she has to have a desire to come out of that depression herself. If she has no type of inclination whatsoever to come out of that depression, it's really nothing you can do. Believe me, trust me. I know from experience, like it's nothing you could do. It's a futile endeavor to try to help somebody come out of depression that don't want to come out, or is not inclined, or don't care to come out of that depression. It's futile, right? But if she does have a desire, even if it's even if it's like the scripture says, the faith of a mustard seed. If she got any type of desire, it can be the desire the size of a mustard seed. You can do something with that. You can water and nurture that. You can grow that, right? So, and the way that you do that is, again, by paying attention to her, right? Understanding her needs. Because, like let's say that her depression might be coming from, a lack of self-confidence. Okay, what's the root of this? Why does she not have self-confidence? Take time to understand that. And then once you understand that, you could probably help her counteract that, right? Now, if it's something that needs some work on, needs to be worked on, you can help her with that. And then some women are beautiful. I mean, really, they all beautiful in their own right, but some women have they have self-confidence issues about things that ain't nothing, like, us from the outside looking in, we wouldn't see anything wrong with it, but yet and still they self-conscious about it. So but the bottom line is paying attention to whatever, like taking time to understand and learn the issues and paying attention to what it is, and then coming with the solution, because you can't prescribe a solution to a problem that you haven't diagnosed, right? So you can't give somebody flu medicine as a solution if you haven't diagnosed a problem that's specifically the flu, right? So before you can prescribe her a particular solution, you got to diagnose the problem. You got to figure out what it is. And then once you diagnose the problem and figure out what it is, then you can come with the appropriate prescription, right? So that's what I say about that. As far as dealing with depression. Rob Carpenter said, "Hell yeah, my game in the streets. I don't put that spill online unless it's practice. Dig that." Little quotes to tell myself to keep my focus, Freeze. I don't know, man. It's a million quotes. But I don't know about a quote per se, but to help you keep your focus, narrow down your attention, less distractions. The world is filled with distractions like never before right now. We got so many distractions. It's like as soon as you wake up, the distractions is all in your face. This motherfucker right here is one of the biggest distractions. This damn phone. Right? So try to narrow down your attention and minimize your distractions. That's one way to help you keep your focus. A lot of times we pay attention to shit that we ain't got no business paying attention to. The rabbit hole of Instagram, the rabbit hole of Facebook, the rabbit hole of the Explore section, the timeline. Freeze, what is your biggest challenge at reaching your level of success at being so cold and successful? Lean Breezy asks. I would say my biggest challenge is staying sucker free. Avoiding bad association. That's where a lot of my biggest problems have come in life, is from bad association. So staying sucker free. I don't really have problems with motivation. I don't really have problems with focus. I don't really have problems with determination. I've always been the type of person, fortunately, to be able to do whatever I put my mind to. It's bad association for me that's usually my problem, because I'm loyal to a fault. I know a lot of people say that, but I'm really that way. Like, if I fuck with you, like, I will go to the end of the earth for you. So I've went to the end of the earth for the wrong people before, and it's cost me dearly. So that's been my biggest challenge. But I've gotten a whole lot better at staying sucker free these days. Whole lot better. So. Keys Capone, good looking, bro. All the time, man. God-fearing King, dudes stay complaining about women in their DMs, but I understand because I don't respond to mine nearly ever. My communication is scheduled if you're not family. I dig it. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I don't, I'll respond, I'll respond to the DMs if it seems like it might be worthwhile, but I don't let it go too far. Barry Stanley, damn, love to show love, brother. Too bad I don't have PayPal. Well, it's all good. You don't if you just feel so inclined, it's other options besides PayPal. You dig? You can subscribe to the Patreon. You get some good exclusive game in exchange. Cash App is there. Super Chat is there. I appreciate it all. I appreciate you just tuning in, though. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. Don't feel like you got to do that to show your appreciation. I just appreciate you commenting and letting that be known. You dig? That's all the appreciation I need. DeBell, clean as the Board of Health, as usual. Good looking, DeBell. You already know. You know DeBell, know what I mean? Pimp over here looking like Bird in the Midnight Falcons. You know what I mean? Hey, DeBell 5000 in the comment section, man. He know what I'm talking about. But one time me and him was walking downtown Portland. Me and him, we walking down the street in a motherfucker in a Chrysler 300. He come rolling past, and mind you, I'm suited and booted. I got the white suit on. I'm cleaner than hand sanitizer, man. I'm sharp as a motherfucker. Blender blade sharp. So we walking down the street, me and DeBell, and motherfucker ride past in a Chrysler 300, and they yell out the window, "Ladies and gentlemen, Bird in the Midnight Falcons." And for those of y'all who don't know, that's from the 5 Heartbeats. You know what I mean? If you seen the 5 Heartbeats, you remember the group Bird and the Midnight Falcons, right? So Bird and the Midnight Falcons was clean. You dig? They was some sharp dressers, right? So when he said that, he was like shooting the shot, but I couldn't see who the motherfucker was. But the Bell was able to see who it was. And he was like, "Yeah, man, that was Greg Oden's ass." I'm like, "Greg Oden? Boy, man, I'd have roasted the shit out that nigga if I'd have known this big 7-foot ass was in that little ass 300, nigga." Man, I could roast Greg Oden to the sun, to the cows come home, to the sun go up and down 1,000,000 times. Boy, I'll roast that nigga to the, man. But yeah, he did a cheap shot on me. He did a drive by roasting on a pimp, you know. He got me, but it's all good though. Shout out to Greg Oden with his ugly ass. Put some love in my body on that note. Joel Castillo say big bust Greg Oden. Yeah. Yeah, good old Greg Oden, man. Whole lot of potential. Not realized. Devin Lewis says, I used some of that freeze game on my wife. Dig that. That's all right, man. As long as it's beneficial. Support the Prince. Freeze, what up, P? How you doing? Oh, I'm fantastic, man. You did. Feeling good, looking good, being great. Damn, now y'all roasting the shit out of Greg Oden. That's funny. Greg Oden, all right, man. You know, bless his heart. I wish he would have had a better basketball career. He had a whole lot of potential. The Bills say wasted 7 feet. Yeah. Yeah. But, hey, it is what it is. Motor City Tokyo said, did a pimp get that extra vote in for extra hoes this year? Yeah, you know, pimp always, you know, a pimp could get, you know, that's the beautiful thing about this pimp, man. We up for election every day. We don't never stop being up for election, you know. Pimp could be elected anytime. You know, if a hoe want to cast her vote, you know, and hit a pimp with a quote, you dig? Pimping is always available to be elected and selected. And a hoe won't be neglected. And she will be protected by this game. You dig? Man, y'all still going in on Greg Oden. Y'all crazy. I shouldn't even said his name because, man, y'all letting him have it. Rise, over the Prince. Greg had them brittle knees. Yeah. You know, that's a lot of big men. A lot of big men got them, man, them knees. I guess it's something about being that tall, man. They knees be real delicate. That's why I admire Shaq so much, man, because Shaq was a beast for 20 years. 19 years. What's Shaq? I think, yeah. Shaq played 19 or 20 seasons, but Shaq was a beast for all them years, man. Like, for him to be as big as he is and play as hard as he did for as long as he did, yeah, Shaq is a motherfucker. Motherfuckers don't give Shaq enough credit. I mean, everybody know he a great and a legend and all of that, but I don't think a lot of people really consider how athletic Shaq was for somebody his size. Not just tall, but big and tall for all them years. And still able to run up and down the court and jump and all that shit, like, still dominate for as long as he did. Shaq is a motherfucker. And see, Kobe said that if Shaq would have, basically if he would have been more serious, he could have been the greatest player ever. And I agree with that. I don't know. Maybe if Shaq was more serious and if he would, because we all know he had his seasons where he was, he wasn't at his best. But I think if Shaq would have, if he'd have been determined like that, he probably wouldn't have had as many years in the league. But he probably would have had, well, not probably, he definitely would have had more great years, more rings and all that. Yoda says, why you choose pimping over slanging dope? Man. That's a cool question. I like that you asked that question. Why you choose pimping over slanging dope? That's a good question for me because, where I'm from, where I came up and when I came up, the dope game was in full swing. I'm from LA County, of course, most of y'all know. Long Beach in particular. Most of my childhood was there. My earlier childhood was in Pacoima, San Fernando Valley. Parts of my childhood was in Compton. I stayed in Compton for a little while. But all over LA County throughout my childhood, right? Mostly Long Beach more than anywhere. But, selling dope was in full swing. Like, I had a lot of friends when I was a kid that was selling dope. But what made me particularly intentional about not selling dope is, and I've spoken on this before, some of y'all done heard me speak on this before, but what made me intentional about not being involved with the dope game is because of the effects that I seen it had on my family, right? Like when I was real little, when I was like, really as far back as I can remember, in the 80s, my uncles was big time dope dealers. My mom got 9 brothers. Her 4 youngest brothers, my grandmother's 4 youngest sons, basically, they was big dope dealers. And I remember when I was little, they was balling. They was, having fly cars and motorcycles and jewelry and, just shining. They was, some fly ass niggas. And one thing that always stands out to me as far as the change, of course, me being a kid at the time, the biggest change I noticed, which was one change that was an indicator of everything, was being able to go to the ice cream truck. When I was little, and we'll be on the block and my uncles would be around, and we go to the ice cream truck. Can you get me something off the ice cream truck? Go ahead, nephew, get whatever you want, man. You and your little homies, man. All of y'all, man, everybody get whatever they want. Everybody, get whatever they want. That was a real good feeling. And I remember how my uncle looked. Each one of them. I remember how they looked when they would say that. I remember their energy. I remember each one of them's personalities. I just remember like everything about them moments, right? And I saw it go from that to, them niggas doing what Cube said not to do, get high on your own supply. My uncle started doing that. Niggas started getting caught up, going in and out the pen at the same time. So they going in and out the pen, they spending years in the pen, coming out on swole and shit. Then they start, smoking, and they, get skinny and shriveled up, and they niggas is dirty and not taking baths and not shaving and just looking grimy as a motherfucker. And it's like, ice cream truck pull up. Can I get something off the ice cream truck? Oh, nephew, I ain't got it right now, nephew. But check back with me later on, nephew. I'll get you later on, man. My bad, man. You know, you know I will have you, nephew. You remember, nephew? I used to get you all the time. You know your uncle got you. When uncle get back on his feet, man. When later on I had you something like, but right now uncle can't do it right now. You know, I remember them times. So even though I was a little kid, I understood what was going on. So that made me not want to sell dope, made me not want to smoke dope, because my uncles was some like, them niggas was cold. They was smart than the motherfucker. They was like, you know, these was the guys that I looked up to. So if the guys that I looked up to, that I wanted to be like, if they could be selling dope, making all this money, and go from like balling to being smoked out, if they could fall like that, then who am I? You know, how am I gonna be any better than them? You dig? So when I seen that, like I said, it made me just not want to be involved with it whatsoever. Made me not want to sell dope. Definitely didn't want to smoke it. I didn't want to have nothing to do with the dope game, never at all, because of what I seen, how I did my family. And not just my uncles, you know, cousins, aunties, like, you know, shit, a whole bunch of motherfuckers. I got a big ass family, but a whole bunch of motherfuckers in my family was smoked out, and I seen it in my face at an early age. You know, a whole bunch of them was selling it, and then a whole bunch of them started using it, and then a whole bunch of them started looking fucked up, being fucked up, stealing from grandma, all type of shit. You know what I mean? Stealing from each other. You know, just doing all kind of grimy ass foul shit. I'm like, man, if dope do all this shit, man, I don't want nothing to do with this shit. Like, I ain't trying to fuck with this shit at all. So that's what made me. It ain't like I chose the pimping over slanging dope, because before and the pimping chose me, first of all. But even before the pimping chose me, way before I even thought about pimping or anything, hustling, whatever, way before I thought of anything, when I was a child, I already knew that I didn't want to fuck with dope at all. So it wasn't like I chose it wasn't like they was both in front of me. It's like, which one am I gonna do? Am I gonna pimp or am I gonna sell dope? It wasn't like that for me. Some people it probably was, but for me it wasn't like that. Way before I thought about the pimping, way before I understood what I had in me, I knew for sure that I wasn't gonna sell dope. That was the last thing I was gonna do. So, yeah. Right, the bell say you need to get back to the 503 when everything get back to the norm, whatever the normal is gonna be. Right, yeah. I do want to go up that way again. Like you said, whatever the normal is gonna be, get back to it, whatever it's gonna be. Snoopy Blue 20 asked a good question. Can you speak on why so many guys break fundamental rules of the game? Oh, so many guys who break fundamental rules of the game are still able to participate and don't get blackballed by P's and the women. They don't get blackballed because they the majority. That's like saying, man, how come P's this dope fiends? See, niggas don't want me to start talking about that. Because it's going to be touchy, man, because they the majority. Man, why P's is dope fiends don't get blackballed? Because they the majority. So, same thing. You know, cats that break, quote-unquote, fundamental rules of the game, they the majority. You know? You don't have to have integrity. You don't have to, respect. You really don't have to respect anything. It's the majority. See, I credit a whole lot of shit to social media. One thing I believe social media does is it desensitizes people with damn near everything. I spoke on this before where things like seeing people get killed, right? Like our kids. Like my daughter, she'll be 11 years old on Saturday, right? And I guarantee you that she's seen people get killed on video, right? Matter of fact, shit, she saw the George Floyd video. So, something that, like seeing somebody get killed, it's so normal. It's such a regular thing to see that people are desensitized to it. Like, back before social media or the internet was the way it is now, it's some of us, we done seen people get killed and shot and all that type of shit, right? But because it wasn't something that we seen all the damn time, it would affect us a certain type of way. It'll hit us a certain type of way. It hit everybody different, but it'll still have some type of profound effect on you to see somebody get killed. Now, for everybody, it's like normal. It's like watching a movie and seeing somebody get killed, only it's real life, right? So, with that being said, it's the same way with damn near everything. It's the same way with snitching. Snitching done became so cool because everything is the internet, everything is virtual, and people don't give a fuck about things. Like, motherfuckers just don't care about rules, period. So, like I said, the majority of people have become like desensitized when it comes to a lot of things. And you already know when you desensitize to something, you don't really care. So it's the same thing with the rules of the game, the quote unquote rules of the game. Motherfuckers don't really care. A lot of people pretend like they with it, but they really not. So, and that's the majority, right? If motherfuckers in the game that don't follow the fundamental rules, was to be blackballed, shit, it'd only be a handful of motherfuckers in the game. So, it ain't really too many people actually pimping no more. It's motherfuckers checking the money, but it's very few. It's like a small handful of motherfuckers actually pimping. So, yeah, motherfuckers don't really care about no rules and all that type of shit. That's the majority. If you knew what you know now, would you change anything? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I probably wouldn't change nothing. I done been through some fucked up shit, and it's some people that I wish I never met. But I probably wouldn't change nothing. I'd probably keep everything the same. That's what makes life what it is. Motor City Tokyo says, why do so many pimps die young? You know, it's just the life that we live. We in the fast lane, and in the streets, you know, when you moving in the streets, you subject yourself to a lot of things that's beyond your control. And at the same time that you subject yourself to a lot of things that's beyond your control, a lot of cats don't take as much control. They don't focus as much on their power of influence, the things that they have influence over, as much as they should. So, you know, it's just the life that we live, you know. A lot of shit happens. But a lot of cats be fucking with drugs. Drugs is a lot of people's downfall. Whether they overdosed on the drugs, whether the drug itself killed them, or them being under the influence of the drug caused them to die another way. You got cats that were under the influence of drugs that got murdered. They probably wouldn't have got murdered if they wasn't under the influence of drugs. You got cats who might have gotten into a car accident or some other type of accident, you know, being under the influence of drugs. Then another thing is bad association, like I talked about just a minute ago with myself. You know, somebody asked me what was one of my biggest challenges. Staying sucker free. Bad association. It's certain pimps that's no longer with us right now because of bad association. If they never met this nigga, or if they never met this bitch, they would still be here. If they never surrounded themselves with those individuals, they would still be here. But they not. So, yeah. You know, it's no one particular reason why a lot of pimps die young, but it's just being in life, you know. Stephanie John said, hey, Mr. Freeze, he ready. My date for New Year's. That's funny. Right, like the Bells say, squares die young too. Death don't got an age limit or a dress code. Yeah. You know, it's just a lot of young people, period, dying too young nowadays. A lot of it got to do with social media. It's a lot of niggas right now that would be alive if they didn't have an Instagram account. Shit, unfortunately, you know, rest in peace Pop Smoke. If he didn't have an Instagram account, he would be alive right now. It's crazy. You know? So, it's other motherfuckers. There was another young cat in Richmond. I forget dude's name. A rapper out of Richmond. One of y'all probably know his name. He just got killed not too long ago. He had his location on. The motherfuckers pulled up and downed him up there in Richmond, California. Damn, I forget dude's name. I'm gonna find him. Tayway, that was his name. Yeah. Oh, Kerry Stack said it at the same time I said it. Yeah, Tayway. You know, young talented dude, man, out of Richmond. I think he was live on Instagram or he did something on Snapchat or something. Whatever it was, he had put his location up there, and motherfuckers came like within minutes, in broad daylight in Downton. Shit crazy, man. Motherfucking internet, man. That shit go all the way back to Lil JoJo in Chicago. Motherfuckers found him, I think, from Facebook on his bicycle. Shit crazy. Right, Irrefutable Truth said it too. Tayway. Michael Pratchett said my cousin just got killed this Halloween. Man, sorry to hear that. My condolences, man. Best of blessings to you at this time. That's man. It's unfortunate. Learn about VPNs, gentlemen. But see, yeah, VPN might help in certain instances, but people like the dude Tayway, for instance, if I remember correctly, he was outside. So that could be a situation like motherfuckers might recognize the landmark. You know, because if you from that city and you see certain landmarks, you know right where a motherfucker is at. So it's like, oh, he right there. Okay, cool. You know, so Right, Irrefutable Truth say, yep, live on the gram before it all happened. Yeah. Yeah, man, that shit crazy. So, you know, that's why it's a beautiful thing to be criminal minded, because certain things is just ingrained in me because, you know, I've just always been criminal minded. And like I say, being criminal minded doesn't always have to do with doing crime. It's just, you know, when you criminal minded, you covering all your tracks because you don't want to get caught up. You being real careful. That's what I mean by being criminal minded. You paying attention to every detail. Motor City, Tokyo. Good looking with the 10K holla. You dig? Much appreciated. L. Fry says, how important is diet, Freeze? Your diet is important. It's crucial to whatever your goal is. Of course, you know, just like mental, your mental diet is crucial. Your food diet, what you put in your body, is crucial. It all depends on what your goal is. You know, if you want to lose weight, your diet has to be a certain way. If you want to gain weight, your diet has to be a certain way. If you want to gain muscle, your diet has to be a certain way. If you want to, you know, be lean, your diet has to be a certain way. You know, it all depends on what your goal is. But the bottom line, to answer your question, is very important. It's extremely important pertaining to whatever your goal is. Devin Lewis says, you have the best YouTube channel. You should have way more subscribers. I appreciate you, Devin Lewis. Yeah, you know, I wasn't, y'all already know, man. For those of y'all who've been following Free's channel for some time now, y'all know that I be going in spurts, man. It's a lot of times where I haven't been serious about YouTube. this is the most serious that I've ever been. This is like the most time that I've dedicated to YouTube lately. I've never been this consistent. I'll say that. You know, I just never been. I've never had the consistency of somebody with a bigger channel. So that's all that is. You know, if I'd have been a lot more consistent, I'd probably be a lot. Well, not probably. I'd definitely be a lot bigger. But I'm more consistent now, so we gonna see what it do. You dig? Suppose the Prince, you a fool. You be on their head. Yoda says, does location matter in this game? Not as much as the location of the game, which should be inside you. That's the most important matter. You know, I was talking to a young partner of mine recently, and he was like asking me where he should go. And you know, he young in the game, and he liked to move around a lot. So, you know, I remember myself being young in the game like that, and I moved around a lot to a lot of different locations and stuff like that. So, you know, I understand the excitement and the thrill of it, and you know, it's fun. But I was talking to a veteran P one time, and he was talking about all these different places that he done pimped. You know, he been in the game like over 30 years, probably damn near 40. Nah, not damn near. For sure, he been in the game over 40 years, right? And we was talking about all these different places that he done pimped, right? So I asked him, I said, man, what's your favorite city? He was like, shit, man, all of them. He like, all of them, man, they all my favorite city. I was like, but what city, you know, did you check it the most, man? Like, what city, you know, treated you the best? Shit, all of them, man. I checked it every city I went to, man. I just checked it. Oh, man. You know, his city was every city. His favorite city was everywhere. But nah, I say all of that to say, of course, every city is different, but the biggest determining factor is you. Andre is insightful. How do you go about paying attention to details? Again, back to the whole the bottom line of this video is understanding. So it's really about just having an intense desire to understand people and things and all of that. Like me, I just like to understand shit. So because I have such a strong desire to understand things, it prompts me to pay attention to detail. And it's just like so ingrained in me because I've been that way for a long time. I've been the type of person who wants to, I've always been curious. So that's what I attribute my attention to detail to. Strong desire to understand and be curious. Andre is insightful. You're welcome, bro. Freeze, what's the last book you've read? Damn, I'm having a brain freeze right now. Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. That's the last book I read. It's a dope ass book too. All right, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. If you have not wiped your feet off at the door, please do so right now, man, while I put some more love in my body. What I mean by that is hit that icon that look like that. Or if you want to be a hater, motherfucker, hit the icon that look like that with your hating ass. But do something. Don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs. Hit one of the thumbs. I prefer you to hit this one though. Michael Pratchett says, Freeze, I'm working on some media projects for magazines, film, documentaries, and videos. I would like to get you involved, and I have cameras and drones if you have anything in mind. Okay, that's dope, man. I'm going to keep that in mind. That's what's up, though. That's good to know. We might have to put that to good use in the near future, because I do got some things in mind. Write a book, Freeze. People keep telling me to do that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I will at some point, but we shall see. Man, Fiji needs to start paying you for the advertising. Donnell Howard, you right about that, man. You know, I don't be trying to advertise per se, you know, but everybody know what this bottle is. You know, it is what it is, though. In a minute, you know, Pimp gonna have his own shit going on, man. Paul Lang, as always, good looking with the big Ben, you dig? 100, 100, for sure, for sure. Oh, for sure, dig that, Mike. That's what's up. I'll be sure to check it out. Devin Lewis said you roasted Mike Tyson. Yeah, you could say that, man, but you know, I was just letting it be known that Mike wouldn't have been able to do the pimping like that. You know? I fuck with Mike though. I love Mike Tyson. But he wouldn't be able to do the pimping like that. He would have got a loving, intellectual ass whooping. A game-oriented smashing. Snoopy Blue, that's what's up. Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton is a must read. Dig that. You said you watched it 3 times. That's funny. That's what's up, though. Irrefutable Truth says, how often should one rest like take days off when it comes to fitness, heavy lifting, and cardio? I think it depends on your routine or your split. Um, Me, I have a 3 day split, so I don't have like a designated day off. Um, I just go to the gym whenever I can, and then sometimes I might get busy and might not be able to go on a particular day, but I try to go whenever I can. But most people take like one day off or 2 days off in a week. I would think, yeah, I think most people do like 5 or 6 days in a week. But ultimately, like I said, I think it depends on your split. You know, and what I mean by split, like your routine. Like if you have like a 2 day routine that you do 3 times a week, or if, like me, you got a 3 day routine that you do 2 times a week. Because if like me, that's my theory. Like I got a 3 day split, right? So basically, each muscle group gets worked out every 3 days. So the way I see it is like, that particular muscle group is getting a 3 day rest. So Mr. Wilson said ran up 3 bands one weekend, Harry Hines. Yes, sir. Money that smell like, that woman that smell like that money that smell like estrogen, man. It's that money that smell like a woman, though. A grown woman. It's that good stanky money, though. You did. Oh, for sure. Irrefutable truth all the time. Paul Lang says, In Search of Good Pussy is a good book. Okay. That's a very colorful title. I think somebody gonna motherfucking fuck around and knock something in this motherfucking chat, though. You dig? Monique Morgan say Boosie needed that. He needed this game in there with him. That's what he needed. Devin Lewis says, should a 13-year-old lift light weights? I think so. I don't believe, they say that, a kid lifting weights too young stunts growth. I don't believe that necessarily, but I wouldn't advise a little kid to be, lifting too heavy. But at 13 years old, yeah, that's cool. That's a cool age to lift light weights. Shit, the first time I ever really tried to lift weights for real, I think I was about 13, going on 14. Like, put it like this, when I got my first weight set, I think I was 13 when I got my first weight bench and was lifting weights and shit. Yeah, so that's a good age, especially for lightweight. For sure. Oh, he a big kid. Yeah, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. You know, because I mean, I don't know how they do it now, but like when I was in high school, because he 13, he almost about to be in high school, or depending on when his birthday is, he might be in high school right now. But I know when I was in high school, when we played football and ran track too, like we lifted weights, you know. And just about everybody is still growing in high school, you know, especially as a freshman, like in the ninth grade, just about everybody's still growing. So, but we was in the weight room getting it in, so, and all of us turned out fine. Tony Skrilla 702. Our first lifted weights was 11 doing curls. Dig that. Yeah, but nah, if he's 6 feet tall, he good. Nah, but like you said, lightweights. You say he plays AAU basketball. Everyone says no. He in the 8th grade. See, the thing about weightlifting, man, the safest way to do it is to do it like with weight that you can be in control of. As long as he's doing it right, as long as he knows what he's doing, somebody teaches him, like if you teach him how to do it, he'll be all right. When you had your first girlfriend, Freeze, and I'm 17, yeah. Somebody sniped him down. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know about no 17-year-olds being up in here asking questions, man. This ain't really a PG-13 conversation, man. Yeah, the 25-pound dumbbells, man, those is cool, and he could do a whole lot with them. Like it's a million exercises he could do with them. And those is like the perfect weight. They're not too heavy, but they're heavy enough to get some good shit done. Like you could do some good workouts with them 25s, especially for a basketball player. Yeah, those is perfect. Y'all talking about people being bought, and Sir Izzo say, so 1,200 you can be set up or be bought, huh? I hope not, shit. Whoever go for that selling themselves real cheap. Oh, Devin, all the time, man. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm saying Devin, but you probably pronounce it Devon. I forgot I was black for a second. How the fuck I do that? Right, definitely. Don't forget proper form dealing with weights. Yeah, the form is important too, but oh, okay, I was saying it right for sure. Dig that. But nah, yeah, you know, the form is important for sure. But also what's important is controlling the weight. You know, dealing with some weight that you can handle. A lot of times that's how people hurt themselves, dealing with trying to, you know, use some weight that's too heavy for them. But them 25s is perfect though. He's 6 feet tall. Them 25s is perfect for him. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Before we go, like Calvin T say, before we go ahead and hit that thing, man. That thing that look like that. You dig? And I appreciate y'all for wiping your feet off at the door. I appreciate you for subscribing. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate the comments, the questions, the feedback, all the interactions in the chat. I appreciate the super chats, the donations. I appreciate your support, the shares. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. You can go ahead and down some of this good old love before we go. And that's all she wrote, man. Y'all be easy, man. Once again, I appreciate y'all. If you out moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. Best is the blessings. I said best